Ferrell Center. It's a rematch of an old Southwest Conference rivalry as 17th-ranked Baylor welcomes Arkansas to town in a series that dates to 1924. We welcome to the SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Continental Tire. They are rowdy and ready to go here in Waco, and the Big 12 off to a 1-0 lead in the final SEC Big 12 Challenge. Oklahoma putting its finishing touches on Alabama as we speak. With that, we welcome you courtside. Tom Hart pleased to be joined by Fran Fraschilla. Fran, this is a season for Arkansas that came with great expectations. They're finally starting to find their flow and live up to it.
Yes, they've lost some key guys to injuries, some guys that I think are going to play in the NBA. The ranking was high early. They certainly struggled. They were terrific in Maui and especially November, December. Then the wheels came off a little bit. Brazil out for the year. Loved him as a big guy. None of him. No Nick Smith. Slow start, but they're getting better. You've seen them recently, Tom. They're getting better and better. Devo Davis is the heart and soul of this team, both on the offensive end and the defensive end. They love what he's doing, and he's going to be matched up today at times with one of the best freshmen in the country. Scott Drew says he's improved dramatically since the summertime. A lot of NBA scouts here for a variety of reasons, but one of them is Keontae George.
And his Baylor Bears, coming off of a Monday win against Kansas, they've won 5 in a row now after starting Big 12 play 0-3. Finally got all their pieces back together, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. Fantastic atmosphere here at the Ferrell Center. And you'll notice the Baylor Bears in the anthracite uniforms, and the names on the back of their jerseys don't match their current roster. It's a tribute to the Immortal 10, basketball players and others who were killed in a bus accident back in 1926. Opening tip is corralled and controlled by Keontae George. He'll hand it off to Adam Flagler. It's a 3-guard lineup for Baylor that can absolutely fill it up. Arkansas is a great defensive team. 13th in the nation in efficiency, but these dudes can shoot, and L.J. Cryer starts off with a triple.
Boy, great execution. Swung it side to side, and L.J. Cryer has been on fire lately.
Anthony Black is a Texas native. He'll run the point. Ricky Council is their leading scorer, third best in the SEC at 17 a game. Davis finds the cutting Black, and the scoop reverse won't go. Kai Mitchell with the rebound, but then he nearly threw it away, and he did.
That's going to be a key today, Tom. Arkansas cannot turn the ball over against this outstanding offensive unit in Baylor.
Baylor returns the favor and gives it up.
This is a really impressive perimeter offense with Ricky Council, Black, also Devo Davis. They can put points on the board if they take care of the ball.
Defense was the name of the game against LSU. Look at this. Kai Mitchell throws it home, and you hear the Arkansas faithful who've made the trip to Waco.
Oh, this is reminiscent of the old days, the Southwest Conference. Anthony Black is outstanding in pick and roll.
Baylor coming off of a 75-point performance in the Monday night win against Kansas. It was their third consecutive win against the Jayhawks here in Waco. Drive and a beautiful finish by Keontae George, and you see the NBA potential immediately.
And he scored on a guy that he's known since 7th grade, Anthony Black.
Here's Mitchell again. Kicks, and a 3 that's short from Devo Davis, who came in having made 8 of his last 14.
Let's take a look at Anthony Black now. He's in pick and roll about 11 or 12 times a game, and at 6'7", he can see over a defense and thread the needle with that bounce pass.
He said there's so many great NBA players that are tall guards that I can, Kate Cunningham, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, that I can model my game after.
Kyle Anderson.
Yep.
Slow-mo.
Baseline jumper skips off the rim from Flagler, but they track it down. That's Jalen Bridges, who does all the dirty work for this team, letting the stars shine. 3-on-3, and Scott Drew told us today, biggest concern for Baylor to try and slow down Arkansas transition defense. Mitchell's only shot 1-3. He gives it up to Black, who got tied up on the drive and walked with it and may have taken a shot to his right leg. And he is limping away from the lane, favoring the right knee.
Watch him get downhill now. He does this really well. Everything about Anthony Black is getting to the paint. That time he loses his footing and travels. See, Baylor will go side to side with that dribble weave.
Trier gives it up. This is George. And they're slow to get out on him with Council. Lucky that he missed it, and a foul on the rebound will keep it on this side. That'll be the first on Devontae Davis, who goes by Devo. Scott Drew has a national championship to his name. Maybe the biggest turnaround in all of sports, now in his second decade as Baylor's head coach. And they are undefeated at home in the challenge. They have the best record of anybody now going to the final SEC Big 12 challenge.
7-2 all time.
And another foul on Arkansas. And correction, the previous foul was on Walsh.
At some point in time, Tom, Scott Drew is headed to the Naismith Hall of Fame. There's no question in my mind. Maybe the greatest rebuilding job in college basketball history.
Monty Johnson picks up that foul for Arkansas. Pryor cut off. This is a mismatch. Unable to finish, though. Baylor just 2 of 6 from the floor. Devo Davis down the lane. And rebounded by Baylor's Flotamba.
Watch out.
Hello, off the back rim, and a foul on the run on Mekhi Mitchell.
I think Eric Musselman not happy with the Hogs getting back in transition. And the transfer from West Virginia, Jalen Bridges, who quite frankly got off to a very slow start this year, has started to become the Energizer Bunny for Scott Drew.
Some big threes late in the Oklahoma game. That was a game that Baylor really struggled offensively. Shot a season low 36%, but still pulled out the win. What's the biggest difference from Baylor now versus their 0-3 conference start?
3 close losses. Overtime loss and 2 losses by the other 2 by 3 points total. And in this league this year in the Big 12, I know you're probably sick of hearing this. It has been from 10-1 in this league as balanced as we've ever seen in the Big 12.
And a foul in the backcourt as Baylor picks up full court. And it's a first on Jalen Bridges. Ravi, thanks. Welcome to sold-out Farrell Center in Waco, Texas. Tom Hart alongside Fran Fraschilla. It's a renewal of an old Southwest Conference rivalry as Arkansas and Baylor meet for the 145th time in a series that dates all the way to 1924. They also met in the Elite Eight a couple of years ago. Baylor has gotten off to a great start on the offensive end in this game, and Arkansas has not. A turnover now, and the Hogs just 1 for 4 on the floor.
Yep, they've been sloppy early, the Hogs, no question about it. Baylor not necessarily sharp offensively, but take a look right here. According to Keith Kimball, his view there might have been blocked a little bit by the Hogs player.
Not hard to pick the stars in this one. Keontae George, a preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year on the Baylor side, wearing number 1. And a guy that he knows really well, Anthony Black, is out of the game from the moment. He banged knees in the first minute of this game, and now George goes down hard. Meanwhile, on the Arkansas side, they've got plenty of offensive weapons, including Ricky Council, who's 3rd in the SEC, pouring in 17 points a game, a transfer from Wichita State. Devo Davis with the crossover. And we're going to foul on the drive. It's a 7-2 Baylor lead early on. And when we return, we'll join the Baylor faithful in remembering the Immortal 10. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. today's game, as they do every year, Baylor University remembers the Immortal 10. It was January 22nd, 1927, when Coach Ralph Wolf was taking his first Baylor basketball team to play in Austin against the University of Texas. The rain obstructed the vision of the charter bus driver. The bus was struck on a railway crossing by a speeding train. 10 of the 21 players, coaches, and fans in the Baylor party were killed in the accident. The Immortal 10 are honored each year during a game and also at homecoming when their freshmen are told anew about the tragic story and to participate in a candlelight remembrance ceremony. Today, the Baylor team is wearing the names of the Immortal 10 on their jerseys to remember the lives lost that day, and 10 seats courtside will remain empty with jerseys adorning them. And so, as you watch this game today and you say Adam Flagler has Walker on the back of his jersey, that is a tribute to one of those, specifically James Walker. Sloppy play for both sides. Baylor has missed its last 5 field goal attempts.
Baylor's not a team that throws the ball inside. They get to the basket off the dribble.
Shot clock at 9. Here's L.J. Cryer. He's got an early 3. And the deuce goes.
Knows how to score. 5th all time in the history of the state of Texas. 3,400 plus points.
Morton Ranch High School. It's now a 6-0 Baylor run. Razorbacks is 1 for 4. Where Baylor has great success behind the arc, Arkansas relies on 2s.
Exactly, and they've got to get off on the glass. There's a 3 by Ricky Council.
Didn't Ricky hear what we were just talking about? Yep. Ricky's making us look bad.
That's not Ricky Council. That's Ricky Council the 4th.
That's right. That's right. Dad, Rick Council. Kind of like the George Foreman naming situation. He said, well, I got 3 boys. I got Ricky the 2nd, Ricky the 3rd, and Ricky the 4th. Here's a little leaner from Cryer. He's got back-to-back buckets.
Yep. LJ was hurt early in the year, struggled a little bit for him, but now really lighting it up.
Anthony Black is due to return to the floor at the next dead ball. He's been sitting for a couple of minutes now.
Yeah, the key for Arkansas is transition baskets, get to the basket off the dribble, crash the offensive glass.
Walsh, Texas native, dumps it inside to Kamani Johnson, who's fouled immediately by Cryer. That's his first. Pardon me, that was Bridges.
Obviously, Tom, this is an Arkansas team that you and I both had, and everybody else had high hopes for. They lost Brazil, the big kid with great energy, in December. Nick Smith, scheduled to be a lottery pick. I personally, Hawk fans will want to hear this. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's going to get ready for the NBA, but obviously the hope is he can return by the end of the season. Personally, I don't see it happening.
So not only are you missing 2 great players, but 2 pieces to Eric Musselman's jigsaw puzzle. He's one of the best coaches out there, especially with his professional background of readjusting his team. Last year they made a mid-season change, and they totally changed their lineup and how they played, and it resulted in another trip to the Elite Eight. He doesn't have as many pieces.
Not as many, but the way they've played, at least in the last 2 home games, I think they still have enough talent. They're an NCAA tournament team. They just have to get on a little bit of a run here after the 1-5 start.
Coming off of a win against LSU, they held the Tigers to just 40 points. Kick out, Cryer sidestep 3. That's off the mark. Walsh had it for a second. The loose ball is fought for by Kamani Johnson. It will be Arkansas basketball. In that win against LSU, Eric Musselman's defense held the Tigers to the 10th lowest point total for Arkansas in the modern era. They are top 15 defense when it comes to defensive efficiency.
Well, Eric Musselman has done an amazing job in a little under 4 years. Back-to-back Elite Eights. He's recruited well. He's obviously an outstanding coach, and he loves being the coach of the Razorbacks. You've seen that on a nightly basis in Fayetteville.
Kind of thought he was going to take his shirt off after the LSU win the other night.
They went in here today. That shirt's coming off.
There's no doubt. Here's Ricky Council. Baseline jumper is off the mark. And a rebound by Josh Ojawuna. And this is an Arkansas team that's really struggling. 2 for 7. And the 3 goes for Fryer. He is on fire early.
Well, the one thing the Razorbacks coaching staff explained to their team is no open threes against this Baylor club.
Baylor has 5 makes in the game. 2 of them are from deep. Pinion is a three-point specialist, nearly threw it away. Here's Devo Davis. They don't pick him up, and he buries it from the top of the key.
Nice. Devo on fire lately. Last 5, about 16 a game. He's become, as we said earlier, the heart and soul on both ends.
Davis played in that Elite 8 game a couple of years ago against Baylor in Indianapolis. Went for 14 in that one. Took him 13 shots to get there. Cryer, runner. And a rebound inside and an offensive putback by Caleb Lohner.
Because Cryer shoots a soft ball, Lohner was able to time it perfectly and reach up over the Razorback defenders.
Anthony Black back on the floor. He's from Duncanville, Texas.
A lot of Dallas kids out here today, Tom.
Black trying to get position, and it was thrown away by Davis. Baylor has doubled up on Arkansas early, and the Farrell Center crowd appreciating it. 16-8 Bears. Take it back to March 9th, 2021. Arkansas, Baylor in the Elite 8. Baylor pulled away in the last 6 minutes. Key threes from Maceo Teague, who led the Bears with 22 points. And when he wasn't knocking down threes, Mark Vidal was there to help him with some putbacks. How about this monster jam on the follow? Baylor beat Arkansas 81-72 on its way to the Final Four. The first time to the Final Four in 71 years. As I mentioned, these teams go back a long way. In fact, it was the first year of basketball at the University of Arkansas when they met early in the year 1924. And the Arkansas fans have made the trip into Waco. A lot of them obviously from the DFW, Metroplex.
Yep, Arkansas Razorbacks well represented in the state of Texas.
They came out for warm-ups and they called the Hogs. I didn't see that on the road very often. That was a big block by Jordan Walsh.
When I think of Razorback basketball, I think of Eddie Sutton certainly, and the triplets, and our guy Nolan Richardson, who I know is watching at home on his farm in Fayetteville. That great team in 93, 94. Todd Day, Corey Beck.
13 NCAA tournaments in 17 seasons under Nolan Richardson.
One of the all-time greats. In fact, we've been talking about Devo Davis today, and there you see Nolan rolling with Nolan. Amazing job he did, but he mentioned Devo Davis.
How about the swag? Just you can see it falling off the picture.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, Davis, you think is a guy that could have played for those teams?
Oh, yeah. Could have played 40 minutes of hell, no doubt.
Jalen Graham with the foul trying to get posted up. Just nothing going right for the Razorbacks here early on. And Baylor has played far from perfect basketball, but
you're
still
right.
Up 8.
Yep, up 8, but they could be up 18. Baylor's got the perimeter game. This is interesting now. Walsh, 6'8", guarding George.
Walsh and Keontae George first played together as 6th graders, and Jordan said, I know how to defend him. He doesn't like physical play against him, and he doesn't like to play defense. And Walsh with another block. I mean, he's got the full scouting report. They've been playing together most of their lives.
Take a look right here. Watch the step back. And Jordan Walsh, who I like, man, he plays with really good energy. And you know what I liked about that? There was no woofing, no talking, no reaction from either player.
He doesn't have to talk. He can just DM him or text him later. Walsh, a 5-star recruit. George trying to shake him, and a 3 right in his eye. This is going to be a fun matchup between those two buddies.
I want to tell you something. That was just as good a defense as the shot before. What a shot by George. Good D by Jordan Walsh.
Arkansas has been bothered by turnovers. They've given it up 6 times. Walsh kicks it to Davis. And a rebound by Graham. Davis again in the corner. Graham, Arizona State transfer. Fought for it. And it's stolen away by Baylor. This is Adam Flagler. The lob. Wow, that was an aggressive line trying to get it to Lohner.
Yeah, that was a tough catch by Lohner. Probably not a good decision.
Council kicks. And a blocking foul before the shot attempt.
Well, we showed you the block by Walsh, but watch this shot, Tom. This is good defense. And Keontae George, the one thing he can do is create his own. and just unbelievable step back. And then here comes Flagler. And I just think that decision right there probably needs to be put in his back pocket.
Go back to Monday night, the win against Kansas here at home. I thought that the Baylor team made challenge threes all night. That was the difference.
That's what they do. They shoot the ball off the dribble in the half court as well as any backcourt in the country. They are isolation players.
Council, and he draws a foul and finishes. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, nicely done by Ricky. He took his body to the defender. And the one thing that you have to do at this level is you must initiate contact as the offensive player. This is really well done. Young man from Durham, North Carolina, transfer from Wichita, and has already become a mainstay for Eric Musselman offensively.
Double digits in 18 of the last 20 games. Council went to Southern Durham High School. He said he expected eventually he was going to end up at a place like Duke, Carolina, maybe even NC State, and then he was shocked later in his high school career when they didn't come calling. Went to Wichita State, 6th man of the year, now one of the top scorers in the SEC. Here's George on Walsh again. And it just fell off. Mitchell with the rebound.
Yeah, another tough shot by George. Good defense by Jordan Walsh. That may turn out to be a great one-on-one matchup.
Mitchell matched up with Thamba. They brought help to him. Not very often Arkansas's bigs get doubled. Graham, quick move. Cut off, shot clock at 4. Walsh. And that is an offensive foul on Jordan Walsh, his second. Meanwhile, Bridges has 3 on the other side for Baylor. SEC Big 12 Challenge rolls on next right here on ESPN and the app. Number 10, Texas heads to Rocky Top to take on Rick Barnes at 4th-ranked Tennessee at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. And then it's a battle of Blue Bloods. Number 9, Kansas is in Rupp to take on Kentucky.
And that Tennessee-Texas matchup, the coaches, Rodney Terry and Rick Barnes. Rodney worked for Rick Barnes for 9 years at the University of Texas, so they know each other well. We'll see this Baylor team on Monday in Austin against Texas.
You got a mouse in your pocket? Here's Pryor for 3. Off the mark. It's you and Boog Monday night, right?
Yes, it is. Chris Budden will be back with us. She's in Knoxville this afternoon. With
her old stomping ground.
Yep.
Got a foul underneath going against Baylor, and it looks like Caleb Lohner.
One thing we
got Oregon State. Are these guys lost?
That is a Baylor fan, by the way.
I got this color on my screen. It's orange.
No, you're in Waco. You're not in.
I know.
You're not in
I saw
Corvallis.
Texas. You might as well see. I apologize.
That's the old Baylor Bear logo. And your sister went here.
She did. She sicked him. Meanwhile, the dunk by Mikal Mitchell, and Mikal did not play in the last game against LSU. He's been bothered by a foot injury. Twin to Mackay.
What Arkansas does not want to do is trade Baylor's 3s for their 2s.
Up the curl, Flagler. Left it short, Mitchell challenged it. Cryer full head of steam in the share. And a foul will put Flo Thamba at the free throw line. Stuck in the mud here in Waco. Tractor pull has Baylor out front of Arkansas 19-13. Saturday's storylines from the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Charles Barkley was courtside. He saw his Auburn Tigers come up short to start the day, lost against Bob Huggins 80-77.
Yeah, but I can't believe this score. I yesterday or 2 days ago said Alabama was the best team in the country, and they were on a tier by themselves. I swung and missed, and then Missouri, not necessarily a big upset, except for the rankings. And tonight we got 2 great ones, Texas, Tennessee. Kansas, Bill Self has never lost at Kansas 4 games in a row. Bill Self did lose 18 in a row his first year at Oral Roberts. But since then, I don't know if you noticed, he's gone on and had a pretty good career.
Not bad. Here's a look at the tote board. Big 12 has won 3 of the first 4. By the way, Kobe Brown had a double-double, 20 and 12 for Missouri. And that was an Oklahoma team coming off of a 27-point loss to TCU. It really makes that thing stand out. First one goes for Flo Thamba, who's making his 85th consecutive start. What a career he's had.
Yep, winningest player in Baylor history, 116 wins. He's changed his free throw form a little bit. Watch how simple it is. It's going to go from chest up. And since December, well, as I jinx him, there is a violation. He's made 73% of his free throws. Prior to December 18th, it was 47%. He's removed many of the moving parts. Let's see if it works this time. There you go. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, no question, a mainstay. The only starter returning on the team that beat Arkansas and won a national championship 2 years ago.
Had 4 points in 13 minutes of game action in that Elite Eight contest in Indianapolis.
Thought we might see zone here from Baylor, but they stay man. As you know, Tom, Arkansas has seen a lot of zone this year.
Here's Council.
Nice.
The shot clock.
Nice.
Shake and a finish.
Yep. L.J. Cryer lost his footing at the top of the key. Once Ricky knew he had a step, he was gone.
Meanwhile, on the other side, that one got tipped out of the hands of Flagler. And it will be Arkansas basketball.
Watch Ricky Council now. He's going to shake the defender right there, gets stuck, and he gets all the way to the rim unimpeded. And this is a young man you mentioned, the 6th man of the year in the American last year, which is pretty good for Wichita, but now has really had a great first half of season for Eric Musselman.
He was only a 3-star recruit coming out of Southern Durham High School. Meanwhile, Jalen Graham, transferred from Arizona State, at the free throw line. He's one of Arkansas's best on a per-minute basis.
He plays with great energy, this kid. I really like his game.
Black with the tip, and they're going to count it. He went hard after that one and then went right into Langston Love against Wichita second. Scott Drew can't believe it.
When we were at the shoot-around today, they were working on free throw offense and free throw defense. And watch Black, watch him spin. Oh, that's terrific. He spins off the defender who loses track of him. Langston Love did not know where Anthony Black was because he spun off him on the baseline. They worked on that this morning. That's like special teams in football. Sam Pittman would appreciate that.
No doubt. And Black drives it home. Of course, his dad, Baylor Hall of Famer Terry, and one of the best dunks in Baylor history. Dunked all over Kurt Heinrich in Kansas, and the only win against Kansas by coach here, not named Scott Drew.
Little pressure by Arkansas.
As close as it's been, and a rejection by Mikal Mitchell. What a comeback this has been for this Arkansas team.
Love this crowd in here. A lot of green, but a lot of red, too. Watch the pump fake, and then Mitchell sends it back into the crowd. Great effort by the Hogs last 4 or 5 minutes.
Baylor's just won for its last 9. They haven't made a bucket in 3.5 minutes. Love playing with 2 fouls here in the first half. George rises and nearly banked it home.
Tough shot right there. Scott Drew probably did not like that one. Ricky's got the ISO.
Ended up one-handing it off the window. He's into double figures already. He has keyed this Razorback comeback. It's a 12-1 run for Arkansas.
Tough shot. Nope.
It will stay with Baylor.
Watch Ricky Council here. He's going to try to get by the 6'11 Thamba. Thamba holds his ground, but watch Ricky reach out and shoot that ball on the way down one-handed off the glass.
He's had double-figure field goal attempts all but 2 games this season for Arkansas. They're calling the Hogs on the road. Arkansas has tied it at 20 apiece. Fran Fraschilla, Ricky Council has taken over this game.
Well, he's averaging 17 points a game, and opponents in the SEC, I talked to one coach who said he's the head of the snake, and particularly offensively, obviously, certainly knows how to create his own, and a great finish off the window. Really nicely done. And they are calling the Hogs in the Ferrell Center.
That's pretty amazing. Obviously, there's a lot of Arkansas alumni in the Metroplex in a short drive down or scattered throughout Texas. This game was sold out really early, and the Baylor folks said, yeah, I'm pretty sure those Arkansas fans snatched up these tickets a long time ago. They even traveled well down to Maui. Council in the open floor, spin, and will give it up and want it back.
Here he goes.
Trying to share it, and it's taken away by Langston Love.
They have not gotten good shots, Baylor, the last couple minutes. They've really forced some. And credit the Hogs defense. There's so much length out there guarding these guards.
Here's Keontae George. He leans in, and they'll count it. And George will go to the free throw line.
Watch Keontae now use the glass. The defender, Mitchell, I believe, tries to slide in on this. And I'll tell you, I think he's there. I think that's an offensive foul right there.
The booing is coming from the Arkansas fans.
Yeah, I think they showed the replay, and I thought the defender was set. Technical foul on Musselman.
And now he'll be held back. McKee Smart. Eric Musselman is a very emotional coach.
Right. I'll tell you this. He had a point. Now, the officials think they got the call right. We got that, but they didn't. This is a charge, okay? He's set. Now, I'm not saying these guys should not have teed him, but oftentimes as a coach, I would get even more furious when they teed me when you got the call wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Should he expect a little bit of space in that scenario?
Yes, but he probably maybe took a little too much space.
Yeah. Give an inch, take a foot.
Yeah, and his reputation is he's volatile and intense, which makes him such a good coach most of the time.
So now they'll shoot the foul shot for the three-point play. The opportunity for Keontae George. 9th in the Big 12 at 79% from the line.
Now these are officials, I believe, that work a number of leagues. So I know these guys that worked in the SEC.
They're signed, the way this works in this challenge, they're signed by the home conference. They like to try and mix in guys
exactly
who have worked the SEC as well.
Correct.
It's not always possible, especially with a full slate of games going on.
That's right.
George makes it a three-point play. Baylor now leads by 5, and the crowd into it on both sides.
Little pressure here. They like to do this after free throws, the Bears. Devo Davis has been quiet, but that's because Council's been going. Hey, watch Black. He loves to get into the paint.
Nowhere to go for Davis. Here's Black. Shot clock into single digits. Davis tees it up. And it's rebounded by the Bears and Adam Flagler.
Arkansas has really done a good job defensively on those perimeter players for Baylor. Look at the length.
That one falls up. By the way, just recently they switched to put Devo Davis on Keontae George.
Davis has been chasing everybody around today, right? He started off on Flagler.
Deep for Graham.
Nice.
And he's fouled.
Yep, this is a matchup of the quickness of Baylor and then the size and length of Arkansas. And it goes back and forth. And right here, take a look. There's Love at 6'4", trying to guard Graham. Nice jump hook and a foul. And that's going to be the chess match today. Small, quick, athletic versus long, lanky, athletic.
That was a third personal on Langston Love, the 6'5" freshman. Jalen Bridges also is playing with 3. Jalen Graham at the free throw line. Love having to take a seat on the bench now as Flagler brings it up. Trying to get it to George, guarded by his longtime friend Black.
I like what they did there. They trapped with Warner's man. Took the ball out of the guard's hand.
A couple of hard screens.
These are tough shots. I think the perimeter of Arkansas has done a terrific job of just challenging on the outside. Look at the length.
Baylor just 29% from the floor. They can't get it to George. He finally goes back and draws the foul. And that's a second on Makai Mitchell. Tomorrow afternoon, we have a top 20 women's matchup for you. Number 7, Notre Dame, with a 5-game win streak, travels to Raleigh to take on 20th-ranked NC State in a rematch. It has Notre Dame looking for revenge. Maternity exit last year. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern on ESPN and the app.
Two great coaches, Niele Ivey, Jaden Ivey's mom. Jaden now at the Pistons, and Wes Moore has done an amazing job through the years at NC State. You know who played at NC State, right? One of our colleagues.
A lot of people have.
Yeah, well, colleague Deb Antonelli.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Had a chance to catch up with her in Knoxville the night of her Hall of Fame induction last spring.
You had a good answer when I asked you. A lot of people. David Thompson, Monty Tao, Tom Burleson, Lorenzo Charles, isn't he out of pass? Tom Gugliotta.
Keontae George.
Vinny Del Negro.
Right. and on and on. 5-point Baylor lead. Bears led by 9 offensive rebounds. They've had some extra possessions.
Oh, they're trying to work that inside because of the size advantage. Davis and Black trying to throw over the top.
Council's got 10.
Nice.
And a reverse give him 12.
Oh, he broke an ankle right there. Lohner thought he had a dance partner. And Ricky Council just eschewed him.
Great body control by Ricky Council. He is having a whale of a game. Meanwhile, Flagler is now 0 for 6. Black out to Council. Council 5 of 6 from the floor. He's knocked down his lone 3. Graham tried to spin. And a little jump hook.
Well, they have mismatched Baylor perfectly, because Baylor's really, really small right now. And every time down the floor, there's a mismatch somewhere, and they've exploited. There's that trap of the ball because Lohner's going to be left open, and that's why.
Can't find the rim. He's just 3 for 12 from deep on the season. And that's exactly who Arkansas wanted shooting the ball. On their side, they want Council shooting it, and when he does, good things have happened. He's got a game-high 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting in the SEC Big 12 Challenge in Waco. We're here in the SEC Big 12 Challenge in a preview of the Battle of Orange, UT's number 10 Texas and 4th-ranked Tennessee later tonight.
All right, Tom, let's watch what we call a hit. This is an NBA defensive device. Lohner is a non-shooter. His man, Graham, is going to leave just to double-team the ball out of Flagler's hands. That leaves Lohner open, who's a hustle guy, not really a shooter. It reminds me of an old story. When Pat Riley was playing with the Lakers and he took the last shot of a game, he misses it, and Wilt Chamberlain said, "Why did you shoot it?" And Riley said, "I was open." And Wilt Chamberlain said, "There's a reason you were open." And that right there was a good piece of defense by Eric Musselman to make sure that Adam Flagler got the ball out of his hands.
Do they want the steal, or they just want to get it away, get it out of Flagler's hands?
If they could get a steal, that's like bonus. They just want somebody else to handle the ball. Fake pressure by Baylor. Let's see if they show a little zone. And I think this is the first time today they're playing this zone.
It looks like a 1-3-1, but
it goes back to a 2-3. Arkansas does a good job of attacking the middle of this zone. There's a travel.
Walked with it.
Yep. There you see Jonathan Chama-Chachua, Everyday John, a little under a year ago, February 12th to be exact. He suffered a major knee injury right here on this court at midcourt against Texas. We've been watching him practice the last few weeks. I don't know if he's going to be back. He's been the heart and soul of this Baylor team the last 2 years. But hopeful we may see him on the court the next few weeks.
And with the Baylor forwards in foul trouble, a major piece that certainly Scott Drew would love to have.
Especially today against this long, athletic Razorback team.
Council, after a hang, hits, and he's got a game-high 14. And a run out ahead, and a block by Mitchell. Chance for the Hogs to push. It turns into a 2-on-1, and Devo Davis, yes! He'll go to the line for a three-point chance.
Right now, Baylor basketball is in trouble because they have lost their identity. And credit, take a look right here. They continue to challenge the size of Arkansas with no success. Arkansas putting it right back on them at the other end. And I would say this, let's summarize it. Baylor's lost their composure. Arkansas has weathered that early storm.
Davis makes it a three-point play. He's got a half a dozen. The Arkansas defense holding opponents to 65 points a game. And less than 42% shooting.
There's that hit again. Look at that.
Stolen away by Graham. They brought the double. Now 3-on-1. Black is open. Davis takes it for the flood. 11-0 Arkansas run.
Again, they're leaving Lohner to double team the ball.
Black gambled. And the foul. A timeout taken by Scott Drew with the ball at midcourt. Hogs have put together an 11-0 run, and they're calling the Hogs again. Well, pretty simple stuff, defense to offense for the Razorbacks.
Absolutely. They have flummoxed Baylor with great length and energy, enthusiasm. And they weathered an early storm. It looked like Baylor was going to run away early. I like this team, but you've had them a couple times recently. They're getting it done on the defensive end. And what they've done in this game is they're challenging the three-point line and making those guards score inside, and it ain't happening.
Bears just 3 for 11 from deep. It's an Arkansas team that's had to reinvent itself after being a preseason top 10 team. Bonner on the floor now for the Bears. He'll fire and puts up an air ball. Now 3 of 12. Arkansas has reinvented itself without Trevin Brazil, without Nick Smith, but still a lot of offensive weapons.
Yeah, and they've got the size and length to be terrific defensively, which they've shown in those last 2 home games. I like the way they've kept their composure.
Graham trying to shake, and foul called on Bonner. It's his first.
What Baylor's had to do, Tom, is they're playing a guard on one of those bigs. That time it was Bonner on Graham, and that is not a good matchup.
That is 6'2", trying to guard 6'9". Jalen Graham, not a good free throw shooter. 41% of the season, 0 for 1 today. We'll have the Australian Open Men's Championship match very early tomorrow morning, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Stefanos Tsitsipas takes on 9-time Aussie Open champ Novak Djokovic, looking to tie Rafael Nadal's record on the men's side with 22 slam titles, and the winner of this match will be the new ATP World #1. We've got blood on Jalen Graham, and so he'll get tended to by head athletic trainer for the Razorbacks and get back to the free throw line. Interestingly enough, if he can't get back, Eric Musselman should take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Graham is not a good free throw shooter. Because it's blood, he could pick his own free throw shooter.
That's right, because there's blood. If it was an injury without blood, Scott Drew would be able to pick the free throw shooter. If it was a flagrant, he certainly could, but he's going to leave Graham in there.
I'm a little surprised. Eric Musselman leaves no stone unturned.
I'll tell you what he's done a great job of. It's an NBA type of thing. This last 10 minutes, he has picked out some great mismatches and gone to work both outside and inside. Counsell on the bigs, Graham Mitchell on the smalls.
And Graham is not a guy who's played a ton of minutes for Arkansas this year. He's been in and out of the lineup. A couple of games ago, he didn't even play. He gives him only 9 minutes a game. This is another. Black's got the rebound. There's Graham again. He's trying to kick it outside to Devo Davis.
Great job by Graham to stay with that.
Shot clock at 9. Davis recognizes, does Mitchell. Here's Black turning the corner. Shot clock at 2. Counsell's got a heave, and he leaves it short.
All right, now it's been Baylor early, Arkansas late. Baylor could really use a basket going into halftime and try to stem some of this momentum. And it's not going to be easy because the Hog's defense has been outstanding, especially on those guards.
Bears made just one of their last 16.
Here's that hit again. Trapping the ball.
Clock at 10. Bonner, clock at 6.
Gotta go.
Now it's at 3. Off the curl, it's short. And Arkansas holding on to an 11-0 run. The Bears have missed their last 7 and haven't scored in the last 4-13. 11-0 run to end the half. Plenty to talk about in the Jeep halftime report. Let's get you to Rupp Arena in Lexington. Reese, Fonz, and Coach Greenberg. Gentlemen. Big 12 Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Oh, celebrities in the building. Apparently they don't know that Fran is here too. Pictures with him will go a long way on the gram. Arkansas with a 6-point lead on the road against Baylor. Welcome courtside. Tom Hart alongside Fran Fraschilla. We knew coming in Arkansas was an elite defensive team. Over the last about 5 minutes, they really showed it.
Oh man, it wasn't 40 minutes of hell, but it was certainly 5, 6, 7 minutes. 1 for 18 by the Baylor Bears down the stretch. 11-0 run by Arkansas, keyed mainly by outstanding defense. They challenged the three-point line, took it away, and Baylor, at least down the stretch of the first half, had absolutely no answers. Give Eric Musselman credit to get his team going, and they certainly have, and they lead by 6.
Remember when Eric Musselman got the technical? Arkansas was down 5 at that point. They are plus 11 since the tee. They outscored Baylor 11-0 in the last 4 minutes, and their defensive specialist Devo Davis has held L.J. Cryer scoreless. Against others, Cryer went for 12 early points.
Well, it's interesting. He started on Flagler.
Yep.
Did a great job on Flagler. Cryer got going. So he's like a shutdown corner. You put him on the best wide receiver.
Flagler still hasn't scored and is 0 for 6. Arkansas starts the second half with possession, shooting 61% in this game.
And we see zone right now by Baylor. They'll play zone about 10% of the time. Of course, Arkansas sees it a lot because they are not typically a great outside shooting team.
Well, came in just 31% from deep. They only make 5 threes a game. Here's Council from the elbow. Man, he is a pretty scorer.
What I love about Ricky Council, it doesn't matter who you put on him. He can always get you a quality shot. When the play breaks down, the player doesn't.
A 6'6" guard. They can get above everybody. Now here's Flagler, still hasn't scored. Gets by Council thanks to the screen. And he is 0 for 7 to start this game, and a foul inside against Arkansas.
You know, I've seen Baylor a lot this year, Tom, and I think those guards, normally very accurate, they are rushing to get a shot off before that length of Arkansas challenges, and it's worked well.
They're combined 3 for 11 from deep. The 3 Baylor guards, Flagler, Cryer, and George. And after Mekhi Mitchell picks up his 3rd, he'll be replaced by his twin brother, Mikal Mitchell. They both started their careers at Maryland, then Rhode Island, and now in Arkansas. Whoa, Walsh got away with a bump. Meanwhile, Bridges is able to convert off the offensive rebound.
Yep, lucky break. The air ball caused a little confusion on the defense.
First half shooting for Baylor, just 24%, the lowest of any half this season.
And you'll see that zone. It looks like a 1-3-1, but it morphs back into a 2-3. Key is for Arkansas to get the ball into the high paint and on the baseline.
Council was there but vacated. Here's Walsh. Anthony Black shares it. Shot clock at 6. Council just fires it up on his own. Mitchell tips it, and they'll say he went over the back. And so Mikal Mitchell picks up his 2nd. And so how does Baylor, we talk about the guards not shooting the ball well, how do they get better looks?
Well, I think they've got to drive it into the heart of the defense and then kick it out. Collapse the defense with their penetration, which they're capable of doing. Right now, they're settling for quick threes against the size and length of this Arkansas defense. Here's a good example.
Got loose for a second, and then Cryer is able to find his footwork.
They're at their best when they dribble it into the paint.
Here's Black behind Council, and a bump from his buddy Keontae George. That's his first. They were both pretty good wide receivers growing up. George gave up the game early on. Black was being recruited by a lot of schools, including Arkansas, to play at the next level as a 6'7" wide receiver.
Exactly. Prior to his senior year in high school at Capel High School in the heart of Dallas, he grew and then transferred to Duncanville, a powerhouse in basketball, and concentrated on this game. Nice pass.
Council gives it up. Davis. Got it. Big three for Devo Davis.
I love when you get the ball on the baseline against that defense. They bring 4 green jerseys up, and the baseline is exposed. Great job starting with Black.
Flagler tries to reverse it. He finds his first bucket of the game 3 minutes into the second half.
I think when you drive it against this defense, you're not going to necessarily score it, but you'll be able to kick it out.
Here's Walsh from the high post, and an air ball. Mitchell there to bail him out. Gives it back to him. And now Baylor comes out of there with it.
Tough pass.
Black was there to pick it off.
Tough pass. Scott Drew did not like it. He's going to come out, George.
Council took an extra step, finds Davis. This is kind of how the game started, with some poor offensive decisions on either end.
Nice defense.
And it rolls home for Bridges.
Good defense. That's not a foul. He went vertical, but Bridges took his body to the defender. And I know this in the SEC, certainly in the Big 12, you must take your body to the defensive player.
Bears have made their last 4.
Baylor staying in his zone.
Walsh. Boom.
Not bad.
Shortish corner, and this is his first field goal of the game.
Yeah, the last 2 baskets have come because the ball went to the baseline. Key for Arkansas is handle this Baylor run.
Walsh on George, and George is able to take advantage.
That is a tough shot. That is good defense.
Yep. 6'7" freshman from DeSoto trying to slow down the 6'4" freshman from Louisville, former Fighting Farmer from Louisville High School.
Nice.
And Mitchell's intercepted by Bridges. 1-on-2. And a foul on the open floor on Ricky Council IV. What an atmosphere at the Farrell Center in Waco, Arkansas, and Baylor battling in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Fran, take us inside the play.
Well, if you're going to attack this Baylor defense, they bring 4 out top, so you have to get the ball to the baseline. You see the opening there? Good kick out. Devo Davis on the other side knocks it down. Ball goes inside out. And Devo Davis, Tom, you watched him, averaging about 8 points a game until recently, up to 16 in the last 5. More importantly, 10 of 20 from behind the arc. And that is certainly needed by this Razorback team.
It's good basketball.
Both teams.
Arkansas with a 3-point lead on the road at Waco. In a series that was first played the first year of Arkansas basketball 100 years ago. Early in 1924, Arkansas first took the hardwood in 1923. And a foul on the drive. And Jordan Walsh had to sit for a chunk of the first half with 2. Now he picks up his 3rd.
You know, the other team that was on that very first Arkansas schedule, that still is on the schedule, is also located in the state of Texas.
A&M.
The A&M Texas Aggies. Wow.
Another one on Walsh, and now he'll have to sit. I know he was excited about playing this game back in his home state. Donald's All-America, played in the Jordan Brand game.
Hey, when you think of this SEC Big 12 Challenge, there's like 25 players.
Hold on, friend. Who's keeping them in the game? Does it surprise you?
Yes, it does.
Turnover.
Yep. They might not have gotten him out in time. Let's see if they get him out right now.
And they will indeed. By the way, the attendance this afternoon, 10,627. It's the 2nd largest attendance in Farrell Center history.
Wow. Wow. And they are moving into a beautiful new building next January, right down the street here on the other side of I-35 along the Brazos River. There's that zone again. Got to keep that defense moving with ball movement, passing. Work through the middle, work on the baseline.
By the way, you look at the Baylor jerseys and the names don't match your roster. Baylor, as they do every year, remembering the immortal 10. 10 players were killed in a bus accident back in 1927 in the Baylor program. Council short in the paint.
Good kick out.
Cryer with the share as well. Love. No. And a foul on the rebound. Charged
again
with Kai Mitchell. That is his fourth.
Flo Thamba going to work on the glass, and all of a sudden Arkansas, that 15 foul?
6 foul.
Yeah.
Bears will be in the bonus next, and Mitchell replaced by his twin.
Well, here's what I would say, Tom.
Yep.
Renewed enthusiasm in the first 5 minutes from this Baylor team that was knocked out, or knocked down anyway, last 5 minutes of the first half by the Hawks.
And we get a foul and a hold on Devo Davis. Is his second. By the way, Arkansas got younger when they traded Mitchell's because Mackay is 2 minutes older than McHale.
So you're saying Mackay's a more experienced player?
That's right.
Yeah.
Been around a lot longer. LJ Cryer at the free throw line, 82% on the season.
Now here's what I would say. If you're Arkansas, stop fouling. Eric Musselman did not complain about any of these. This is 7 fouls in the first 5+ minutes. Stop fouling. Especially if you don't want to put these guards on the line.
It's a loaded question I'm about to ask, but do you think they played foul-free basketball in the first half? Yeah, I'm talking about ones that aren't called because they're so physical.
I think that what you have to do early second half is adjust to the officiating. Because the officials are in the locker room explaining to each other, we got to call it closer.
And indeed, now on the other end.
Yeah.
And
See,
it's Flagler's second.
There's 3 teams that go to the locker room at halftime. Arkansas, Baylor, and the 3 officials. And if they felt the game at the end of the first half gets physical, they'll say to each other, hey, let's make sure we blow the whistle early. Make the players adjust to us.
Do you think at halftime they eat cookies like we did?
They may.
They should.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
They are delicious.
Fantastic welcoming committee here in Waco. Council off the glass. A rebound corral by Davis.
Good effort by Davis. You're going to see a lot of loose balls the last 14 minutes.
Here's Mitchell. Went up too quick, couldn't find the rim. And he's able to save it off of Thamba.
Because neither team is making a lot of shots, the size and athleticism means there's going to be a lot of scrums inside and a lot of loose balls.
Arkansas is just 3 for 10 in the second half. Mitchell guarded by Flagler, gave it up, wants it back. Shot like it's 6.
Good D by John.
Whoa, what a pass!
Oh!
That was a fastball to Black.
Great cut by Anthony Black. They've been talking about cutting all morning at practice.
Walker. Rebounded by Black. Pardon me. Flagler, indeed. What a pass on the last trip down for Arkansas. Here's Black.
There's those mismatches. He's money.
They ran another man at him. Didn't matter. He's got 16.
Oh, he's money because there's going to be mismatches with those small guards, and Eric Musselman is taking advantage of Council. Here comes that trap again. Get the ball out of Cryer's hands.
Love shares it, going high and low, but a travel. Ojanwuno.
I want you to watch this cut on the backside because when the ball is picked up, watch Davis pick the ball up, and there goes Black on the backside, and he cuts right behind the defender. Great job.
You got incidental contact at the end of that play?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Here's that zone. Baylor will stay in the zone.
Anthony Black Number 1 point guard in last year's class is Buddy Keontae George, was the number 1 shooting guard in that class. Graham got it deep.
Davis on Cryer.
Cryer got a half step. 3-ball good. That's Jalen Bridges.
He was in a major month-long, 2-month-long shooting slump early in the year. The confidence has come back. The West Virginia transfer. Got to work through the middle and the baseline.
Black tried to find Council, knocked away. Baylor the other way. Here's George. Got through Davis, hangs and hits. It'll go to the line. Baylor will have a chance at the lead when we return.
It's not easy getting by Devo Davis, but Keontae George gets it done. Take a look. Whoop! And by now strength to the rim. Power in the Ferrell Center.
Take a look at what Keontae George has done today.
Yep, the precocious freshman, 14 points, gets his points in a lot of ways, scores like he breathes, inside, outside, transition. Take a look at this, nice job to the rim, and one, maybe.
He's part of our Wendy's Wooden Watch, and George has certainly lived up to being a midseason top 25 nominee with 14 points, but it's taken him 14 shots to get there. Flagler still feels like, Fran, at any moment he could bust out.
Yep, and remember, Devo Davis shut him down early. Cryer got going, so now Davis recently has been guarding Cryer. So in effect, Devo's stopped 2 players today.
Here's Keontae George, preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year at the free throw line.
Yeah, but every bit as good as advertised, Tom, and maybe better.
Only thing against, he doesn't like dogs. He's scared of dogs. Even Anthony Black's little puppies run around.
The way Devo Davis is playing today, that dog might be guarding him soon.
First lead for Baylor since it was 27-26.
Again, Baylor's been in the zone the whole second half.
Black waiting in the corner. Davis undecided. Shot clock at 5. Here's Graham, and he couldn't squeeze it. Baylor on a 6-0 run, trying to add.
Davis is guarding George now in that left corner. So Davis has guarded all 3 perimeter Baylor players today.
Here's Bridges. Black on Cryer. Got the screen. Oh, it was halfway down.
Anthony Black did a nice job of staying with him.
And a double dribble on Davis. That is his 5th turnover of the game. A third of Arkansas's 15 turnovers. And Baylor, to this point, has turned the 14 into 12 points. George. No. And Graham with the rebound. Hogs have been turnover prone lately. Graham kick, Council 3. That's good offense.
It sure is, because when you get it to the heart of the defense, you collapse it in a great kick out. Great find.
Into the corner, and Love answers his first bucket of the game.
Coming back off ACL. His coming out party was Monday against Kansas.
And 11 points against the Jayhawks in 18 minutes. Baylor on a 5-game win streak in this one. Council's ball fake got him free, and he found Mikal Mitchell.
Terrific. Ricky Council's been unguardable. He's so elusive with that dribble and his size.
George got into the heart of the defense, but couldn't knock it down.
Too quick.
And then Black fouled by his buddy Keontae George. It is his second, or Big Monday, ACC Big 12 doubleheader. Features number 7 Virginia, fresh off of a comfortable win against Boston College, facing Syracuse at 7 Eastern. Then this Baylor team will travel down the road to Austin to take on 10th ranked Texas after the Longhorns game tonight in Knoxville. Both games right here on ESPN and the app.
Scott Drew, it took a long time for him to beat the Longhorns coming here to Waco.
Early in the shot clock, a 3 from Davis off.
This is going to be fun. Last 8.5 minutes. Looks like a carry.
Flagler, no, and Mitchell got it. It's kind of like it's late in a line change in a hockey game. It feels like both sides are exhausted right now. And it's shown offensively.
Nice.
Corner 3, Council too strong.
Yeah, Ricky just made that last one. Good ball reversal by Anthony Black. Keontae just wants to take this game over Keontae George.
Mismatch with Mitchell. There's been a lid on the basket for Keontae George.
I'll tell you, they're good shots. They are good shots. They're not falling.
He is 5 for 17 this afternoon.
But Eric Musselman doesn't mind at all. There's that zone by Baylor, and Arkansas going to catch their breath a little bit before that next TV timeout.
Razorbacks just 41% from the floor this half. They'll let the clock wind all the way down. Davis with 4 now. Long 2, and that is off the mark.
And Keontae George handed the ball to Flagler and said, hey, I need a blow. I'll go hang out in the corner.
Flagler is 0 for 6 in the first half. Got a step, and he draws a foul on Mitchell, and that is the 3rd on Mikal Mitchell. Both teams could use a breather. We'll catch our breath. This one going back and forth with the Hogs up 1.
Texas and Tennessee. Rick Barnes going up against the school that he coached at for 17 years and a coach that was on his staff for 9 of them in Rodney Terry. These longtime friends and former colleagues go head to head when you guys wrap up there in Waco.
All right, thanks, Chris. So it's Texas and Tennessee coming up next. The Tennessee team, Fran, their defense has simply been elite. They held Georgia to 29% shooting and a 70-41 win last time out.
You know that at this rate, they are going to be the best 3-point defense team in the history of basketball. Now, the 3-point line came in at 86-87. But they are elite. And this young man at the line, Adam Flagler, 1 field goal today. Tom, he's only had 1 game this season below double figures. And that was 9 in a win against Texas Tech. He's getting good looks, but he's really been hounded all day.
Yeah, Flagler just 1 of 10 from the floor, 0 for 3 from deep. This a guy scored 17 against Kansas on Monday night, 1 of 2 from the line, and you can just tell there's a guy hardly ever misses free throws. This is not his day.
There's that zone again. Not a great shooting team, but the ball movement's been very good against the zone.
Black drives, finds Mitchell.
Great. Anytime Anthony Black exploits the paint, and he didn't get in all the way that time, he is dangerous because of his size and vision.
Baylor's missed its last 5. Let's get that timeout. Does either side any favors trying to catch their breath. 3 off the mark. That was Love, and Black went to the floor with it and called a timeout. Timeout taken, and we'll take it with him. Arkansas leads by 2 on the road in Waco. 2. Anthony Black is one to call a timeout. He's got 5 points in this one so far.
Yeah, but I love the way he moves the ball. You see that cut from the backside. Nicely done. And when he gets to the paint, you saw that overhead pass at 6'7". He can really find his teammates, and he's done a good job with that.
Averaging 6 assists a game over the last 3. He's got Baylor ties. His dad, Terry, Baylor Hall of Famer, and his mom, Jennifer, played soccer here as well. Look at that dunk. He had one against Kansas on Big Monday. That was Baylor's first win against Kansas.
Historic. Yep.
Played a couple of years of JUCO ball before coming to Waco to be a superstar. Here's Graham. Graham is able to get it to Walsh. Jalen Graham has been the pivot point for Arkansas against that zone.
He's played over 20 minutes today. He averages 9. And every time they've used him, he's taken advantage of his size. Terrific.
It's been 4 minutes since Baylor has made a field goal.
This is great defense. Eric Musselman, if they can hold on, this is great defense on those perimeter players. Look at this defense.
Cryer able to get in and throw it off the glass.
Yep, he had to earn that one. Today, Tom, nearly 70% of the Hogs baskets have been assisted. The ball movement's been good. Baylor's back to man-to-man last 5 minutes.
Council went 6 for 7 the first half, just 3 for 7 the second. Graham off the back of the rim. And a loose ball corralled by Bridges, who's trapped by Graham.
Where's Davis? He's out right now. I was wondering who Davis was guarding.
Council matched up with Flagler.
Yeah, and his length bothered Flagler. That's great defense.
Black saves it into the Arkansas front court.
Oh,
and then a foul in the open floor. Flagler cut off Mitchell. And Mekhi Mitchell's going to be whistled for his 5th.
That is a bad break. What happened was the shot clock was down to 3.9. This was going to be a violation in the open court that has to be called. It's a bad break, but that is going to be called 99 times out of 100. And it's a bad break because the defense by Black was unbelievable.
Keontae George returns for Baylor. And Flagler goes to the free throw line. Mitchell is done. His twin, Mikhail, will take over.
If we can get a look at Adam Flagler right now, when he shoots his free throw, he is gassed. He is gassed.
One for 10 shooting this afternoon. Takes the 2 freebies, and we're tied at 53. Devo Davis returns.
Let's see if Baylor stays man. They went zone the first 14 minutes in the second half. It looks man.
Game that Baylor once led by 11.
Graham's got a mismatch inside because Baylor switches.
Council on Graham now up top. Goes right into him. And Graham able to stop him. Here comes Baylor looking for the lead. Flagler, scoop. And Mikhail Mitchell fouled after the rebound. That is the 4th on Bridges.
Flagler's done everything he could today to get to the rim and finish, and he couldn't that time. And again, watching him, you can tell.
As a coach, how do you manage your guys in this situation when they look gassed?
If you could get him out for a quick blow, there's a TV timeout coming, but they really need him on the court. And he's got to play through the fatigue.
One of the top scorers in the Big 12, 16 a game.
This is good. Arkansas looking for the mismatch.
Council over the top of Cryer and didn't fall.
Man, he did have the mismatch on Cryer. Couldn't get it to drop. Each team's got 2 timeouts, but a TV is coming, so the coaches don't want to burn them.
George, beautiful share And a foul on the drive, and that'll be the 4th on Mikal Mitchell, and put Flo Thamba at the free throw line. A back and forth affair, and we're tied at 53 at the Ferrell Center. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. All right, gentlemen, thank you. You know, it's not Fran just that Keontae Johnson is back and playing after being out a season now. He's been sensational. 18 points, 7.5 boards a game.
Yes, he has. He's a linebacker playing basketball. By the way, this guy at the foul line with 3.5 to go in a crucial time. We mentioned it earlier. He's really improved his free throw shooting the last month, over 70%.
And he gets them both.
That's a career 50% free throw shooter. And as we said earlier, the all-time winningest player at Baylor.
Graham. And it's batted out of bounds. Will go to Baylor.
That is another tough break because Eric Musselman has used Jalen Graham today perfectly, creating mismatches, and that time that ball rolled in and out. We've had a lot of shots like that today.
Arkansas
Baylor
shooting just 38% in the second half.
What about Baylor? What are they shooting for the game, Tom?
They're shooting really well. They're shooting 30%.
Yeah. Great defense.
They've been on the offensive glass. They've grabbed some Arkansas turnovers. There's George with the floater.
What I love about this kid, he will never back away from a tough shot.
It's an 8-0 Baylor run.
Baylor stays man. They're going to switch on the perimeter.
Davis with the crossover. Out to Black. Finds Graham, who put it on the floor and lost it. And Devo Davis is not happy with his team. He is immediately saying, let's get together, talk about how we're attacking.
As long as he doesn't call a timeout, which he did the other game.
That ball, luckily, went for Arkansas, went off of Thamba's shoe.
Yep.
Size 17s gave Arkansas a break.
Good switch. They tried to get Davis free, and the big fella switched out.
Mitchell kicks it. Black pump fake. Now he'll fire. And a skying rebound by Adam Flagler. Baylor on an 8-0 run over the last 3 minutes, and it's a 4-point lead.
Counsel on Flagler.
Bears happy to run some clock. Here's George. George, full head of steam, and he got it again! Back-to-back buckets for the superb freshman. He's got 19.
That's what we talked about. I know in the Big 12, the only way to score is take your body at the defender, and that's what he just did.
Now Black trying to answer, and he does!
Boy, I thought that was an N1.
So did Black. That ends a 10-0 Baylor run. Hogs need a stop. It's about 90 seconds left in regulation in Waco.
Still a possession game, no fouls yet.
Not quite enough. You could hear Eric Musselman stomp on the Arkansas sideline. George for three! Council got behind the backboard and drew the foul. Keontae George is wearing a cape.
Eric Musselman's seen this before. Why? Because he's coached in the NBA. Take a look at this right now. Look at the strength of George. And then this is a professional jump shot, folks. Unbelievable. You know, I've said this once or twice this season, Tom. UB Brown once told us coaches, not every great superstar in the NBA wants to take the big shot. This kid, when he gets there, will never have that problem.
Council at the free throw line. He is trying to match Keontae George. They each have 22. When George is on the floor this season, he takes 31% of the shots. It's a high usage rate, but you see why.
Yes, no question. Watch out for some pressure now from Arkansas if this is a make.
Got them both. George much more efficient in the second half, 5 of 9 after just 3 for 11 shooting in the first.
Here comes that hit again, that double team.
Walsh couldn't get there. Now they have to scramble. 1 minute to play.
This is taking a lot of time if they don't come in double.
Walsh get the kick, and that was a near steal. And they'll reset the shot clock.
Yep, they get an extra 4 seconds. Great point, Tom. Because of the violation defensively, it's a new clock, 20 in the half court. I'm not sure you don't foul here, because a lot of time can be wasted with this 20 seconds. Oh, I fouled Thamba right away.
Can't quite get to him, and now Flagler's got it. They're going to be left with about 35 seconds, and they'll be down at least 5. Lob, and Mitchell's there to break it away. Here comes Devo Davis. George foul in the open court with 37 seconds left, and that was smart enough to keep Arkansas from getting what could have been a breakout.
Now this will be a 1-and-1, or is that the 6th?
It's the 6th. They'll be shooting after the next one.
So that becomes a great foul by Keontae. I saw 6, didn't see it go to 7.
Hogs down 5. They're 4 of 13 from deep in this game. Jordan Walsh gives it up. Council's man fell, and he hit the jumper right over him. That was George, who thought he was fouled. Meanwhile, Ricky Council's got 25. What happened to Keontae George?
He fell down, and I didn't see a flop warning. He trips. Council hits the shot.
Keontae George thought maybe it was a low blow coming around, trying to use that chicken wing.
Let's see it. I thought he tripped. Man, I just don't know.
The hip check from Mitchell might be what he's complaining about.
I don't think you could call that a foul on Ricky Council. And they didn't make a call on Mitchell, so that we got to play on, ball on the baseline.
You had an interesting point that Porter Moser told you about being aggressive on both sides of the floor.
You know, I said to Porter Moser, what's the biggest thing that you've learned in the Big 12? And he said, everybody plays great defense, but you have to be physical offensively. And that's why Keontae George has had such a good season. I don't see anything other than ball inbounds underneath. But watch Keontae George, Tom, the number 6 high school recruit on the ESPN list. And there's 28 scouts here today, 20 teams. And this is what they want to see. He is a shot creator.
And George had 10 in the first half. He's got 12 in the second. After that foul, Arkansas used a 30-second timeout in conjunction with the review. Eric Musselman had a lot of time to talk to his team. What does he want to set up?
He definitely is going to set up pressure. And you have time to trap it once or twice before you have to give a foul. The logical guy to foul would be Thamba, except he is as far away from the ball as even you and I are.
Yeah, he's 90 feet away. Here's Cryer to inbound. Council good defense, and Baylor has to use a timeout.
Yep, and they still can run the baseline, even though he called a timeout.
62-59, Baylor clinging to a 3-point lead. Big 12 Now and ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 basketball fans, including Tuesday night. 5th-ranked Kansas State and number 9 Kansas square off again, this time at Allen Fieldhouse. Their first matchup just over a week ago was an instant classic. K-State changed their faces. Coverage begins 8 Eastern, 7 Central. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12 Now.
By the way, Jerome Tang, former assistant to that guy in the huddle, 19 years with Scott Drew, has changed a lot of things in Manhattan, Kansas.
Why was changing their faces a big deal?
You know, a few weeks ago they had a game and the team was not playing well, and he said to his coaching staff, nobody on the bench is smiling. Fix your face. And they fixed their faces, the assistant coaches. Wound up winning the game. So I'm just going to tell you this season, when we work together, fix your face. All right, now, full court pressure. You don't have to foul immediately. Try to set up a trap, a denial, maybe 2 traps before you give the foul. Now, here, watch this. This is the football play. It's a line. Somebody could go deep, but somebody's going to run a hook pattern.
Come back to the ball. There it is. And a cylinder foul as Jordan Walsh tried to get in there, pull away the steal. Pardon me, it wasn't called on Walsh. It was, it was. And that is his 5th.
Yeah, it's a tough call, but the rule, by rule, if you invade the offensive player space, see what he's doing there? You've got to give the offensive player room to pivot, turn, make a basketball play.
I think what's hard about that is he had room to turn. He found the gap between the two defenders.
And he probably did grab the ball. And guess what? Too bad.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Fix your face.
Yeah, fix your face.
Well, Jalen Bridges at the free throw line, trying to make it a 2-possession game. He's 2 for 2 at the line this afternoon. Big one coming.
Yep, 77%.
As soon as we're finished, we'll get you to Rocky Top for Texas and Tennessee.
Make or miss, Tom. Hogs don't need a 3.
It's a make. 4-point game.
But you got to be on the attack right now.
Council's been their leading scorer. Devo Davis, now 20 seconds. Nice move, and he got some space, and he finished. It'll go to the line.
Now, turnabout is fair play because we thought no foul on Walsh. Watch Davis discard the defender with his left hand. He's going to get to the basket. Watch the left hand. Push off and the finish. No call. Okay, we're even. Take a look now. Excellent drive by Davis. There's the push off.
Yeah, a little chicken wing.
Yep, okay. And smart play by Devo, and I like the idea they didn't settle for a desperate 3.
And he's hoping those wings come with a biscuit. Chance for a 3-point play.
Give me some honey with that.
And he got it. 14 points for Devo Davis. Press on. 18.9 remaining in regulation. They'll put all 5 on the baseline, and here they go. Where's the curl? Everybody's covered. 18 left. And a loose ball, no travel called, and a timeout taken by Baylor. They had Adam Flagler deep in the corner.
And here's what's going to happen right now if you're Baylor. That inbounds pass is going to be deep corner. Take a look right here. Great trap, no foul. Flagler stuck. Finally calls timeout. That ball would be as far away from Scott Drew as it possibly could be.
Deep corner and no movement, and not after a made basket, which really sets up a lot of Scott Drew's fun out of bounds play.
Well, we'll see, because that's a hard place to inbound it now.
Officials are chatting right now. 14.5 seconds left after Baylor used its final timeout. Arkansas still has 1.
If you're Scott Drew in a huddle, you have no timeouts left, but you do have a jump ball. The possession arrow will be yours. You're going to let your team know we don't have to desperately throw the ball away. Just get a tie-up, we get the ball back. If you're Eric Musselman right now, good hard trap, maybe 2, and then you must foul.
I don't know if it's going to be on the sideline or the baseline, but the awkward spot's going to allow Arkansas to do what?
Create a pressure in the corner that is unusual for an offensive team to inbound the ball. Okay, because we do not often practice taking the ball out in the corner.
Baylor's been sensational from the free throw line today. 11 points better, percentage points better than their season average. They're at 85%.
As we look out there, Thamba's out there with Bridges and the 3 guards. Watch where they inbound it now. If I'm Arkansas, I bring all 5 up and dare Baylor to throw it long with the idea that they may throw it out of bounds.
And they'll put Black on the ball. He's 6'7". That's a little bit higher up than I initially thought.
But it's still a place they're not comfortable with, Tommy. You see Graham come all the way up cheating as a free safety.
They go deep, and they found him. Cryer will peel off now with 10 seconds left, and they finally foul him.
Now, this is still okay because it's going to be a 1-possession game. But as we mentioned, when you bring 5 up, Baylor took the chance by throwing it deep, and they did. You see all those white shirts, and look what they do. They throw it deep.
Got by the free safety, didn't he?
He did, he sure did. He ran a seam route.
So here's L.J. Cryer at the free throw line. 3 of 4 today. Meanwhile, Arkansas will counter with Joseph Pinion. He's a three-point specialist, and they might be down 3 here in a moment.
This is usually too early. If he's got to make the second one, but it's usually too early to foul if they're up 3.
Pinion hadn't shot a ball this entire game. 10 seconds left, 3-point game. Here's Davis into the front court and a timeout.
Okay.
And we'll see if they keep Pinion in the game. Friend, would you have concerns about running a play for a guy who hasn't shot the ball?
You got 2 choices. You got a couple guys out there that aren't very good who played a lot today, and one guy who's a great shooter who is probably, it's like a relief pitcher coming in the game. But here's what I love about this situation. Eric Musselman has been in this situation in the CBA, the NBA, and college hundreds and hundreds of times, and he is used to taking the ball out right where they're going to take it out, like an NBA coach. Traditional. We're going to find out what he's got up his sleeve because we know he's well prepared. The question for Scott Drew now is, do we foul when the ball comes in bounds? I think 8.8 is too early because once you foul them and they go to the line, they're going to foul you with 7.
So what is the optimum time for Baylor to foul if that's what they choose to do?
If this ball does not come in cleanly and you can foul under 5, that's what we do. But over 6, that's going to give Arkansas another chance to foul after they make their free throws and get a chance to come up the court and tie it again.
Don't forget Texas and Tennessee coming up next in Knoxville. Rick Barnes against a team that he coached for 17 years just down the road in Austin. That is underway currently on ESPN News, and we'll get you to Thompson Bowling Arena as soon as we finish.
I'm going to predict that Arkansas will get a clean look at a 3. Don't know if they make it.
Davis talking with Graham and Pinion. He might be talking about how to free me for a screen.
Right. Graham's a screener. Davis can make a shot. Anthony Black, while not great, can make one. Obviously, Council and Pinion can. So the key here is probably Graham to get somebody open because we know he is not shooting the 3. It's going to be an X off the post. So keep your eye on Davis coming from the baseline.
Davis guarded by Cryer. Here he is. They switch out, put Thamba on him. He'll drive on the big. No foul, and he gets the 2.
The clock's got to stop. It ran too much.
Devo Davis, before the ball was inbound, was talking with Kip Kissinger, and I think what he was saying is, I'm looking for a foul on this drive.
I love it. I absolutely love it because this is going to be set to about 4.5, 5. The clock stops as soon as the ball clears the net. Right there, 4.8, 4.7. What does that do? That allows them to set their press up and foul immediately. And trust me, Tom, if they can, it's going to be reset the clock.
Yep. They'll put 1 second on, if not, 1.2.
Okay, so now they must foul immediately because you need to give your team 4 seconds to go lane to the court.
Both teams steal a timeout as the officials went to figure out the clock situation.
If you're Scott Drew now, you seriously have to think about throwing long again. Because if I'm Arkansas, I bring all 5 white jerseys up again and take a chance that they may throw long again and throw it away.
And as long as they throw it long and it's touched, the clock will start rolling. Go back to early season. Bellarmine won a game against Louisville by doing that.
Yep. All right, here we go. 4 across the foul line.
Cryer will inbound, and they can't decide who's going to be on the ball. It'll be Pinion now. Black guarding Flagler. Cryer gets it in short corner and an immediate foul and a takedown. Everybody slipped reaching for the ball.
Okay.
And that'll be Council in his second. That's irrelevant to this point. 4.3.
Right. So now it's up to, see, if I were Baylor, I would run down the other end of the court and huddle up down there.
What's the difference?
Well, we taught our guys when there's a foul, run to the other foul line and create your own mini timeout. And what has to happen now, Arkansas just did that with Musselman.
Yep. Scott Drew's team has won 5 in a row.
Now I think you foul if you're Baylor. If they are up 3, I believe you foul. It all depends on what George does at the foul line.
Yeah, by the time the ball is inbounded, you're looking at less than 4 seconds.
Correct.
So Keontae George He's got 22 points in this game and is a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Right in front of the NBA scouts. They're all writing in their notebooks right now, and they're writing, let's draft this guy.
Okay, make or miss. Arkansas pushes it. If it's a make, watch for the foul by Baylor. Short.
And it rolled home. Hogs to Davis. 4. Now 2.
Perfect. What a great foul that was. There was no way there was going to be a flagrant foul. And what the defender did was hip check the ball handler. Who is that, Cryer?
That's Cryer's third.
Watch the foul now. This is practiced. They decide to foul at midcourt. Watch the hip check. No chance to reach in and get a flagrant. And obviously Debo is going to try to act like it's in the act. Good foul. Now you know what you got here, right? After the make or miss, it's going to be a miss.
2.3. And Devontae Davis. 2 of 2 from the line. And he left it short at the pinion. He'll fire! Oh, off the backboard. Catch your breath. What a finish.
Watch the miss and watch Pinion run to the corner on contact. Great tip out. Can't do it any better than that. And he was cold.
His cold. Only shot of the game. What a thriller here in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Baylor holds on for a 67-64 win. We'll get you to Rocky Top in just one moment. For Fran Fraschilla, our fantastic crew, I'm Tom Hart. We're a sold-out crowd at the Farrell Center. Saw Baylor run its winning streak to 6 in a row in a 150th meeting with Arkansas. Let's get you to Dave O'Brien, Dickie V, and Chris Budden in Knoxville.